data analytics can be loads of fun. Perhaps that's just my inner data geek speaking, but there's something satisfying about accessing free public data and converting it to a format that's visually intelligible, and then drawing interesting conclusions about the state of the real world. This, of course, is the thinking behind my Teach Yourself Data Analytics in 30 Days project. I believe that two observations from my recent article, "Does increased public school funding lead to improved educational outcomes?" proves my point. So, does increasing public school funding lead to better results? Up to a point, as I demonstrate in the article, it probably does. But there are some significant exceptions. For instance, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development's PISA testing program regularly measures sample groups of 15-year-olds from 37 OECD countries for academic proficiency. When I compared the most recent PISA results with how much each country spends on their children's education, I saw a few interesting results. The tiny but wealthy country of Luxembourg spends more than $21,000 each year for each of their school-age students. Yet, despite spending far more than any other country, the children of Luxembourg ranked about 28th out of the 37 countries tested on each of the 3 test topics. That's a pretty lousy return on investment. By contrast, Estonia, which spends only $7,500 or so per child, they were outspent by 27 OECD countries, scored first in both reading and science, and third in mathematics. It seems that it's not so much how much you spend, but how you spend it. Which brings us to the second example. I used U.S. government data to explore how state-by-state spending relates to standardized test results. The trend line on this chart really took me by surprise. We can clearly see that the greater proportion of a state's education budget that's devoted to administration support services, and the less that's devoted to in-class teaching, the lower their students' academic results will be. That dot all the way to the right is the District of Columbia. As the pop-up shows you, D.C. spends more than 40% of their school budget on support and is tied for last place in the country for academic success. So who says numbers can't be fun?